this week's episode of Crockpot Cooking. I'm Maria and I'm a new culinary instructor here in the Culinary Corner. I'm a sophomore and I'm majoring in theater and I'm minoring in biology and dance. Now that you know a little bit about me, let's get into today's recipe. Today we'll be making slow cooker chicken tortilla soup. For ingredients, you'll need 1 pound of boneless, skinless chicken breasts, 1 15-ounce can of black beans, 1 cup of frozen corn, 2 bell peppers, 1 white onion, 1 15-ounce can of fire-roasted tomatoes, a 1/4 cup of freshly chopped cilantro, plus more for garnish, 3 cloves of garlic, 1 tablespoon of cumin, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 2 cups of low-sodium chicken broth, 1 cup of shredded Monterey Jack, 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, 3 small corn tortillas cut into strips, sliced avocado for serving, sour cream for serving, and lime wedges for serving. And also, if you would rather use like chips instead of roasting corn tortillas, you can do that as well. Before we get started, let's wash our hands for 20 seconds with warm soapy water, and remember to scrub underneath your nails, between your fingers, and around your wrists. Now that we've washed our hands thoroughly, I'm going to line the crock pot with a crock pot liner. After I've lined my crock pot, I'm going to rinse off my beans and my corn because my corn is canned. So I'm just going to go ahead and open these. And be careful not to cut yourself on the lids. Now that I have these open, I'm going to go over to the sink with a strainer and rinse off the beans and corn. And now for my corn. After I finished rinsing those ingredients, I just set them off to the side in the bowl while I prepare my other ingredients. Next, I'm going to prepare the bell peppers. So first you want to wash them. So we're actually going to be chopping these. So what I like to do first is to cut the top part of the bell pepper off. And then you can pull it out. And then next you're going to want to get rid of all of the seeds in the center. Now that I have a majority of the seeds tapped out into the garbage, I'm going to cut them along the lines of the bell pepper. The reason why I cut along the lines of the bell pepper are because it's actually easier to remove the white part. So next then, I'm going to remove the white part on the bell peppers. And when you're doing this, make sure that you don't get your hand in the way and cut yourself. I'm gonna set those to the side. And now I'm going to chop them. So I'm going to just cut them into strips first. And then I'm going to chop them horizontally. Now I'm going to finish doing that with the rest of my bell pepper. After I finish chopping up my peppers, I just set them off to the side in a bowl while I chop up my onion. So an easy way to chop up an onion is by cutting it in half and then laying one side down and cutting 2 to 3 lines horizontally, and then a bunch of lines vertically, and then you can cut up and down, and then you quickly have diced onion. Now I'm going to chop my fresh cilantro, and then I'll leave a little left over for garnish. I'm going to wash it off in the sink. I'm going to set a couple strands of it aside so that we can use it for garnish later. To chop cilantro, I like to first take off the leaves. And now I'll chop them. Now that I've chopped my cilantro, I'm going to set it aside in a bowl. Now I'm going to mince 3 cloves of garlic. First, I'm going to take off the outside of the garlic. I like to cut off the end of it, and then it makes it easier to peel. And then, in a similar fashion to our onion, I'm going to make horizontal cuts in the garlic, but much smaller. Then I'm going to make a bunch of vertical cuts in it. And lastly, I'm going to make a bunch of cuts up and down because it makes it a lot easier to mince. For your up and down cuts, you're going to want to make them very small. Once you've done this, you'll have perfectly minced garlic. I'm going to finish doing that to the rest of my cloves, and then I'll come back. Now that all of our ingredients are prepared, I'm going to start assembling them into the crock pot. First, you're going to start off with chicken. And now that we've touched chicken, we're going to need to wash our hands. Next, you can add your black beans and corn. Then you can add your peppers. Then you can add your fire roasted tomatoes. These don't need to be pre-rinsed. And then you can add your onion, cilantro, and garlic. And then your chicken broth. And then you're gonna add a tablespoon of cumin, a tablespoon of chili powder, and a teaspoon of salt. After I've added all my ingredients, I'm going to give it a quick stir so that the seasoning can get incorporated to the rest of it. After I've done this, I'm going to cover this and cook it on low until the chicken is cooked and falling apart. So that'll be about 5 to 6 hours. After it's cooked for about 5 to 6 hours, you're going to shred the chicken with a fork. Then you top off the soup with the Monterey Jack cheese and let it sit for about 5 minutes. For serving, I'm going to wash and slice up some avocado. Okay, now I'm going to cut up the avocados. First, I'm just going to cut a line down the middle. Then I'm going to twist it, and then I'm going to take the pit out. I like to just put the knife into the pit and twist. And it comes out easy, and then you can throw this away. Now I'm just going to take the peel off of the avocado. Once I've taken off the peel, I'm going to slice it into thin pieces for the topping. It should look something like this. You'll know it's completely done when the chicken reaches a temperature to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you can shred the chicken. To serve, top the soup with tortilla crisps, avocado, sour cream, cilantro, and lime. Enjoy! Thanks for watching this week's episode of Crockpot Cooking. If you make this recipe, remember to tag us on Instagram at UND Wellness. See you next week.
I'm going to wash my hands though, don't worry.
Okay. all done.
Oh goodness.
After I've lined my crock pot, I'm now going to rinse my beans and my corn because I have canned Something I like to do at home is wear swimming goggles when I'm cutting up onion so that I don't cry. Or you can either throw it away or you can plant it and then you'll have an avocado tree, like I do.